And then if we look ahead to National Cabinet, what measures would you like to see adopted to tackle the rise in domestic violence?
Well, this is one of those circumstances in relation to domestic violence where we want to work shoulder to shoulder with the government. The Prime Minister obviously has had some serious allegations made against him. He's been called a liar and his word questioned. I think that needs to be addressed. I think the Prime Minister needs to apologise if he has lied, and I think that issue needs to be cleared up so that it's not a distraction for what is really required here, and that is national leadership to address a national scourge. We can't allow a situation where women feel unsafe in our community. As a policeman a long time ago, but all of those images, kids screaming, bloody scenes, it stays with you, and those domestic incidents are not acceptable in any society and certainly not in ours. There's clearly a need for more funding in the programs that are working, a diversion of the money away from the programs that aren't working into the ones that are. The bail laws are woefully inadequate depending on what jurisdiction we're in, and the Prime Minister needs to show the national leadership here to look at the innovation and the way in which we can provide support to families. The level of violent content that young kids are reading about or viewing online. As we know, our kids, our grandkids are watching a lot on the internet, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and there's a level of culpability here from the media companies as well, because they're the conveyors of some of these images. The normalisation of conduct which is not acceptable in the real world, and yet some of these young boys, young men will act that out in the real life, and there's so many elements to it, and I think the Prime Minister needs to deal with this very serious allegation that's been made against him about whether he's lied again, and that's something that he needs to address. And I think dealing with that distraction is important so that he can get onto the main game of leading our country in a very important area that requires his immediate attention.
Are you disappointed that that is where the conversation has been over the past 24 hours, more on that either misunderstanding or disagreement about the speech compared to what the rally was actually meant to
Well, I just think if the Prime Minister's lied, he should stick his hand up, apologise for it, say that there was a mistake that he's made, and explain it truthfully. I think part of the Prime Minister's problem is that he always wants to tell a half-truth or not to give the full details, and we've seen that in relation to this terrible bashing of this elderly lady in Western Australia, where the government won't answer questions in Senate estimates, they won't provide the detail, everything is shrouded in secrecy. We want transparency and honesty, and then let the public make up their own mind. But the Prime Minister's created a distraction here by saying, look, there's nothing to see, I'm not going to comment on it, his office is not providing any comment to the media. If there's nothing to hide and he's done nothing wrong, then just be open and honest. And I think people would expect that of their Prime Minister.